have all the infrastructure set up on my server to host multiple applications. I'm going to run through the steps of actually introducing a new application in this setup, and that application will be Next Subway Near Me, a Node and front-end application I made a few months ago. The first step here is that I'm gonna stop the Nginx application router because I want to run certbot again to generate new HTTPS certificates, which requires, with the method I've chosen, to run on port 80 and 443. This will produce like a minute of downtime, which I don't mind. If you mind that downtime, you could look at alternative verification methods that certbot offers. I haven't looked into a ton, but I know they're there. But I'm gonna take that downtime and stop the Nginx application router. I'll now run the certbot command to add that new subdomain for my application into the cert. It looks like the challenge was successful and I've got new certificates. I'll also need to go into the Nginx configuration, and down here at the bottom I'll have a separate server block for each application. So I'll just copy the one from last time and change the domain name to Next Subways, and also change the port that I will run this app on, and I'll make that 8002. And I can restart that container again to have those configuration changes take effect. Make sure it's working. Looks like it's good. I'll clone down the code repository for this application. And stepping into the folder, just take a look at what we have here. I mentioned I'm gonna run all my applications in Docker containers, and to make a container, we build an image, and to build an image, we need a Docker file. Let's just take a look at what is in the Docker file. It inherits from the official Node image and installs JavaScript dependencies, adds my application source code into the container, runs a build for the front end bundle that loads in the browser, and then starts a Node Express server for the back end. I'll run Docker build and tag the image that it creates with next-subways. And that image successfully built. And now I can run a container for the image, Next Subways. A couple things to note. I'm mapping the port 8002 on the Nook into the containers port 8080, which is what it exposes for web traffic. I'm passing in an API key through a environment variable and setting a restart policy. So this container will always start up. I always want this web service running. So let's hit enter. I see that Next Subway container is up. So if I go over to the browser, I can visit nextsubways.curiousdirectory.com, loads over HTTPS, and tells me that at my nearby station, Essex Street, there's an F going to Brooklyn in 10 minutes. So we've done the big work of setting up a home server and being able to run as many apps as we want on it with HTTPS and a bunch of other cool features. Basically went through this entire setup that I showed in the first video, except for two little things. I didn't get into Graylog or CheckMK just yet. May do that in some follow-up videos, but if you want to run a web server at home and run as many apps as you want on it and have a little bit of fun, I think you're good to go.